In today's video, I'm going to explain why you need a Canon lens that's just too good not to have. Of course I'm talking about the Canon 50mm 1.8, the nifty 50 many people call it. That's because of its size, its portability. One of its biggest advantages is its price. It's 80 to 100 pounds in the UK and 100 to 120 dollars in America. It's a really nice lens. I highly recommend you getting one. Even if you don't have a lot of money to spend, save up, because it's a very cheap lens at that. It can produce some absolute gorgeous and fantastic shots that you wouldn't be able to get from, let's say, a 18 to 55mm kit lens. To start off with, people say, I want to try and get the most cinematic shot I can. When I think of cinematic, personally, I think of shallow depth of field. That's the one thing you're going to get with this lens, is its shallow depth of field. That's only because the aperture can go to 1.8. Let me just quickly explain how this works. The aperture of a lens system is the opening between the actual lens elements, typically made of glass or plastic, and the camera's digital sensor that translate the light into image data. Aperture openings are referred in terms of stops, or f-stops, that equate to the ratio of the lens focal length to the diameter of the opening. Reducing the aperture size decreases the amount of light that makes it into the sensor, as well as increasing the amount of depth of field that the lens will provide. In this case, the Canon 50mm has an f-stop of 1.8, which means the aperture is very wide. This means that the wider the aperture, the more light that lens can let in, which is obviously better for you as a filmmaker, so you don't have to add as many lights to the scene, or you don't have to bump up your ISO, which means you get more noise and grain in your image. Let's say you have a shot in the same settings, 30 frames per second at 400 ISO with the Canon 50mm at 1.8 aperture. It's gonna look sharper. It's gonna have a shallower depth of field than a lens, let's say the 18 to 55 kit lens at 50mm, same 30 frames per second, 400 ISO. It's gonna have more depth of field, and it's gonna look a lot lighter because that aperture is wider. Because in this situation, your 18 to 55 kit lens aperture will be about 3 to 5, which means that the aperture is smaller, which means less light gets let in, which means less shallow depth of field. Like I said before, a big advantage is the price. The price is a no-brainer, really, because lenses, Canon, Nikon, and other Sigma lenses are so expensive. They're getting more expensive. They range from £200 to £1,500, which I personally can't spend because I'm at college and I can't afford that. But the 50mm is a lot lower than that and can give you terrific, absolutely amazing images. And this is just now for you to see what the lens is capable of doing and its image quality. I spoke to my friend Ben Hector, and this is what he had to say about the 50mm. The Canon 50mm.
Yeah.
Would you say it's like, for its price, it's the best like lens to get at its price? Like,
oh my god, yeah. 50mm Canon. It's just it looks like a BBC film, you know.
Yeah.
It's gorgeous. Amazing.
Because most people now are switching from camcorders to DSLRs, especially Canon DSLRs like T2i, T3i, the 50mm is a need to get lens. Shooting on a 50mm will give you that shallow depth of field and also give you that professional look that most amateur filmmakers can't achieve with a camcorder or other certain lenses. But with the 50mm, that chance of now becoming and looking more like a professional film. I'm not saying that you should always use a 50mm because that's definitely not the case. There's some situations where you will want to use a wide angle lens or a different prime lens, say, you know, a lower prime at 24 millimeter at 1.8. The only downside of this lens is probably that it doesn't have image stabilization, which is, you know, a bit of a problem because now DSLRs are really light. The vibrations that pass through your feet while walking will transfer into your hands and then into your camera lens. So without the image stabilization, you will get a bit of that shake, which is a problem, yes, but I mean, there are plenty of camera rigs and steady cams out there that are cheap again, that will do the job nicely to stabilize that footage. But I highly recommend this lens. It's one of the best lenses I've purchased and used. Such a good lens to have. Thank you for watching. Next week, I will be doing a video and showing you how you can get shots like this. So keep subscribing, and you know, I want to roll in all those views and subscribers so I can, you know, get more views and then make more videos like this and help sort of like start a new set of videos where I can explain, you know, what camera equipment is best for certain situations and how, like, DIY projects and all that sort of stuff. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you soon.